Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today we are building this family home and the inspiration pick is in the upper left hand corner. As you can see, it is a little blue-ish suburban home with a detached garage and a large patio, and it ends up being a 3-bed, 3-bath. I placed it on the 30 by 20 lot in San Sequoia called 36 Bayani Place. It comes out to be only 80,509 simoleons, so not too bad. Definitely not as expensive as some of my other homes. I tried to be a little bit more conscious of that. I did use a lot of debug for the landscaping and for the little extras that I added on to try to cut down on cost for you, because it's frustrating to have to download a lot and then cheat your way to a bunch of money or raise all the money, although some people like playing like that and sometimes I do too. But here I am making the garage and I'm just getting the basic shell down. I think I do end up, I placed the patio just to get an idea, and then I had to replace the fence, so that was fun. But I placed the windows and the doors to make the basic shape of it all come together, and then we get into actually decorating and outfitting the lot. But I was really inspired by this picture. It looks like just a really cute little house, and I did want to find that same blue tone, but it was a little difficult. We only have so many blues, and we actually have a lot of blues to choose from for sidings, but not exactly the same tone of blue here. Also, those green shutters are really cute, but I just couldn't find ones that match, so we end up using white. Did have to take some liberties with this, but that's why it's called inspiration pick and not a direct recreation. But here I'm working on this little step up here, and I decided on brick for the patio and brick for the steps because everything matched really well. And of course I use a brick platform also, but you can't really see the brick because it's only a short platform, so that's okay. All you see is the little white trim, which actually ends up looking more gray than white, but hey, what are you gonna do? So here I'm working on figuring out the driveway portion in front of the garage, and then I throw the siding down. And as you can see on the garage in the inspiration pick, it's siding up top, but on the bottom is more of a stucco, so I found a nice stucco texture that actually works really well in a similar color. Here I'm trying to pick a little divider to put into the fence to give it a little bit more character up at the top, since we don't have a fence that exactly matches what they show in the inspiration picture. And here I'm adding some windows. Up at the top you'll see I put some blinds to act as shutters. Those were kind of like placeholders because I didn't know exactly what windows I wanted to use, and I was just kind of trying to get a basic idea, because as you know, if you've seen any of my other videos, I do kind of work on a time constraint, and I like to just plan everything out during my first build session while my kids are napping or sleeping, and then I come back to it later and I kind of move things around, or I substitute different windows or different siding or different patterns as I go. So here, just laying out the basic shape of the front gardens that are in the inspiration picture. I know it's not up anymore, but I was staring at it off to the side on my phone for a very long time, trying to get the idea of what I wanted here. Picked out a bunch of shrubs and flowering plants out front, just to figure out what was going to go where and how I was going to make it fit. And I was pretty sure the mailbox was going to go out front here, but I wanted a longer driveway, so I moved everything back, gave a little more space in the front, which does cut into some of the space in the back, but I think it actually still ends up having a lot of room for, spending family time outside, cooking and lounging outside. Thought that came out really nice. And adding this little chimney piece here, I just added another, I ended up making that a very tall half wall kind of situation with the chimney cap inside of it. And here I'm just laying out a little side door. Now this side door had a lot more room on that side of the house in the inspiration picture, but I didn't have that here, so I kind of just did what I could. I put up this debug wall that I also used in, I think, my second video I ever posted to my channel, to give it the illusion that the siding has a brick texture on the bottom half. And I just sized it down with a tool mod and then moved it around to fit. I added these little pillars also that match, and I think those are from Discover University Debug. So if you're looking for those, they're very handy. They come in clutch with stuff like this when you're trying to get a certain look and you can't find the right siding to work with it. And also I put it in front of the fence over here just to keep it all cohesive. And I think that it came out really cute in the end, especially with all the plants in front of it towards the end, which you will see at the end of this very long video. I know it's about 45 minutes long, this video. It's a longer one than I'm used to. I was doing shorter ones for the longest time, but I felt this one was worth it. Here I am adding the stairs. The stairs gave me a really hard time with the platform, but I did get rid of all that footage of me struggling with it because it was exhausting. It was exhausting to even watch back. But here working on the floor plan upstairs because I knew I wanted a little closet right there at the top of the stairs. I did not work from an inspiration pic of the inside of this house, so I was just kind of winging it. And then here I kind of made some funny little shapes for the hallway leading to the bedrooms, and there's 2 little bedrooms. Those are the children's rooms, and here's the final layout where you see the primary bedroom and the 2 children's rooms, and I managed to squeeze a bathroom into the parents' room as well, which is really nice. Just laying out the beds so that I remember what the rooms are, and that I think right about here is where I decided to add the bathroom. So I just drew a funky little shape right here. It does not end up being that weird, but right there, that's going to be the little tiny bathroom. And it's just a sink, toilet, and shower up there that I do manage to squeeze in that itty bitty space, and I play tested it. It works, surprisingly. So there I'm placing the couch just to let myself know that that will be the living room. And right here when you walk in is like the mudroom / laundry room. There is a little stove, a little wood stove there because the chimney is right above that room, and I just like to keep it semi-realistic when it comes to that. Adding some more stairs outside. So here we are finally getting to decorating the inside. It's a long journey. This is the laundry room. I put this cute little shelf from Laundry Day, obviously, in here, and then this little hutch set of shelves with a bunch of linens and little boxes of stuff on it, and 2 laundry baskets, some detergent, a bucket of supplies, and these baskets that I use the 9 and 0 keys to raise up, and then tool mod to raise up the rest of the way. And then I just use move objects to move them around later because I do end up putting some wall lights up on the walls and they kind of get in the way. And then I think what I decided on was this layered rug situation right here, and I think I just rotated them slightly. Oh, that little galvanized picture is also Debug from Laundry Day. I thought that was super cute. And I rotated the rugs and sized them down with tool mod and just placed them right there like that. And I'm hoping that they don't cause too much of a fire hazard, but I did not put a fire or a smoke detector in here, so that might be a good idea. You know how fireplaces work in The Sims. There's a little litter box. I was thinking that this family has a cat. And then I also put a little set of dog food bags down, like maybe they also have a dog, or maybe they had a dog, or they're thinking of getting a dog as well as their cat. Could make for some fun gameplay. Maybe the cat doesn't want them to get another pet. I don't know. And then we just picked a little mat here. I had a hard time because I couldn't decide what kind of entryway mat I wanted, and I finally decided on this one from Cats and Dogs. I used the bluish and gray swatch, and here is the quick itty bitty little bathroom. So this is a half bath. It's just a sink and a toilet, and I think I throw in a little bathroom organizer shelf thing from Base Game, I want to say. It's either from Base Game or from Parenthood, the organizer that I place in here. But I wanted it to be like a cozy little laundry room bathroom, like maybe as soon as you come in the house or right before you leave, you would hit this bathroom. There it is. Yes, it is from Parenthood. Okay. I think I end up sizing it down just a smidge with the tool mod so that I could place a tiny window there and also a curtain. And I wanted to use that the Growing Together wallpaper, but I decided on this one, also from Parenthood, because I never get to use this pink and purple tile, and I thought it would just be really cute in here with the dark wood swatch to match the mirror and the little hutch. And that is what we did. And just a little simple ceiling light, my typical standard ceiling light. And here's where I'm deciding on this little shade. And I actually use the reddish brown, like the burgundy swatch, because I haven't used that one yet. And I think it worked really well in here. It matches the tile and the wood tone. And then I add some lights in here. Now, because this is up on a platform, it seems like the light is really close to the Sims' heads, and that kind of bothered me. So I decided on wall lights for this room. Like, it didn't have to be super duper lit up because it's just a laundry room area. And also it gets so much natural light during the day, you probably wouldn't even need a lot of electricity in there. So here I am finally working on the layout of the living room. I pulled out that couch before and I just stuck it in here for the time being, but I put a little console table behind the couch and this lovely little lamp. And then I'm working on picking the wallpaper. It took me a very long time to pick it, but through the magic of editing, you don't have to sit through my indecisiveness. So yay! This little hutch is from high school years. This is like a bookshelf slash organizer drawers. And I thought to use these little cubes that also came with high school years to make a TV cabinet kind of thing and just combine everything, because I do imagine that there is one child, one toddler, and one infant in this home, and maybe the child has brought home a bunch of school projects or they like to do crafts, so the home is mostly decorated with their crafts. I put a couple of their I think I put 2 school projects and 1 craft item, like the decorative plate I put up on that shelf, but you'll see that later. And here I struggle with the dining room. I think I put up a wall here with the expectation I was going to use spandrels and columns, but that didn't work out, so I just used a little archway right here to kind of close off this room. I originally thought it was going to be open concept, but then I actually decided to close it off, which is new for me. And I finally got to use this stand-up piano that we got with Growing Together, and I was so excited because I haven't used that one yet. It's very pretty. I like the wood tone, and I like the way it just fits right in that little corner over there. Speaking of corners, in this corner of the living room, I add a little homework slash crafting desk, and I think I just throw a laptop down. That way it can be portable, and it can be removed if the sim just wants to sit there to do homework or write in their journal. Or what have you. This is a very large cat tree, and it barely fits here because of how low the ceiling is, but it does work. So we place that here, and then I think I did a little toy box right there, and then I had to figure out the configuration of the windows because it just did not look right. But I think I made it work in the end. And here's a little seating area for the toddler, just those little stacked up pillows. You'll see the kitchen looks very ugly right now out of the corner of your eye, but don't worry, we get to fixing that. I just have the layout for me to come back to later. And here's where I'm deciding on what furniture we're really going to have in the dining room. I also do change the wallpaper because it's just too fancy. It's too like mansion-esque, and it just wasn't working for me. I changed that archway to white since the other one is that blue tone, and I thought it would be nice to have 2 different tones, 2 different kinds of stained glass. And here I break out these empty picture frames for you to fill with all of your Sims photos. There's a little crafty thing above the desk over there, and I use this little collage from Growing Together. I thought it was super pretty right here, and it worked out really nice, so I just made that into a photo wall. Here I am picking out the rug. I did like this one, and I had a hard time placing because of the, like I said, platform situation gets very funky, but I do end up changing that rug to match the runner that I'm putting here. I wanted them to be like the sim bought them as a pair or in bulk, and that's why she got a good price on it. That's my theory, thinking like a mom. But anyway, over here under the desk I placed this little woven rug. I think that's from Cats and Dogs, and here I am replacing the other rug with the one that matches. I believe that's base game. Yes, that is base game. And it's very cute, and it's very stereotypical suburban home, at least in the area that I'm from. And I added this light, which I don't use that often. I think it works really well for this entryway, kind of from the mudroom into the living room. And then I threw some shoes down over here next to the console table, because I assume everybody who comes in through the side door there puts their shoes right there. Even though I don't have that set as the front door, maybe the kids use that door to like run out to get to their bus, so they don't have to go through the front gate. Maybe the bus comes at the other corner. And here, this little piece of clutter is really cute. That's also from Growing Together, and I used this little trick here with these the poles from the light posts and toddler stuff to line up where I was going to place them on this shelf. It worked out really nicely. Shout out to Jessica Pye for showing me that trick. She does that with like the tall lamps, but I use those poles because it was just easier for me. And here I am placing more like school projects, the little bridge, the volcano, or not the volcano, the castle layout. That was really cool. And as I'm talking over myself, moving into the dining room here, I changed the wallpaper to this greenish and wood tone one. That is from Realm of Magic, actually, but it's really cute and it works in a whole bunch of different homes. So I like the way it worked out. And here's that plant from the Basement Treasures kit, and that centerpiece is from My Wedding Stories, and I really, really like it. That shelf over there I think is from Eco Lifestyle, and the candle on it is from Laundry Day as well. And I was very indecisive about chairs. I really liked the ones from My Wedding Stories, but I already used them multiple times in past builds, so I couldn't do it. So I picked these chairs here with the pink swatch. And now I think we will be, yes, we're centering the table one more time to figure out where our centerpieces are going to go. And I think after this, we place a big rug, also from Growing Together pack. And then I think we are just trying to figure out this wall over here. I wanted a mirror, but I also kind of wanted another spot for more like arts and craftsy stuff. So I put up a little shelf underneath it, or two shelves. I think they're just the base game, the Immaculate shelf. And I threw in some little odds and ends, like a little toy car, the greeting cards, and that little flower vase right there. And I think it looks really, really cute. And now, picking out those cards. And I have to use the red shelf to place them because for some reason they don't want to place on the shelf. Which is actually fine, because that probably would have been really difficult with the way that they were joined together like that on the wall. Had to use a tool mod to raise the mirror up, but I do end up having to move it back down because I noticed that the ceiling was actually clipping into it. That table lamp over there is also from Growing Together, and I have not used it yet. So again, very excited I got to use something I haven't had the opportunity to use yet. I think it went really well with this color scheme, and I just put some books on top of that piano, thinking maybe that is like their little music collection. Maybe. Moving into the kitchen now, these counters are from Parenthood. They're very pretty. I also replaced the fridge with the fridge from Parenthood, and the stove I think might just be Base Game, the nicest one from Base Game. Like this one right here, the white one, I think matches the rest of the appliances really well. And then I think I picked the same stool. So that whole collection is from Parenthood, and they look really, really nice in here. Very stereotypical suburban home, at least for my area. And then I picked this kind of cheap looking linoleum floor, but it just makes sense in my mind. These cabinets I really like, but they were a little too big, so I sized them down one notch. And the good thing about those corner cabinets is they only go in the corner, so it was very easy for me to place them and then just line up the rest of the cabinets on either side. So that was quite nice. I only sized them down by a teeny tiny bit, just one little bracket. And over here, I used this tall cabinet piece, and I made a little coffee bar. Now, first I had that little cabinet piece underneath the little side table, but then I decided to use 2 more countertops instead because they snap really nice. And then I add the microwave over to this side, and I believe the coffee pot right there. Yes, indeed I do. I'm trying to remember because this was a few days ago now. Oh yes, and then I add some bags of coffee and this little sugar thing that I sized down once. Those are in debug, and then that little cup is from the Everyday Clutter Kit, which is super cute. I got 2 little bags of coffee actually, and I put them behind where the coffee pot goes. I think it's very realistic to how you would have like a little coffee bar. And placing some more windows. Now these are from Cats and Dogs. They are the same windows I use in the mudroom area, and I really wanted them to be different, but at the same time they just fit so nicely here. I think I moved them down ever so slightly. Well, I moved them down a lot, and then I moved them up just enough so that they don't clip, because I was a little worried about how it would look from the other side with the stove controls up at the top there cutting through. And this shade is also from Cats and Dogs, I believe. And then this range hood. Now I know it's a little off center, and I do fix that later because I realized it was actually poking through the other side of the house. Whoops. Getting these little soap dispenser, and I imagine that to be a sponge for washing dishes. That's just in my mind, that makes sense. Little hand towel there, and I think I put up a dish rack. But I imagine that this family spends a good amount of time in the kitchen together. Maybe the kids do the homework at the island while mom is making dinner or while dad is making dinner. And then they spend a lot of their time in the kitchen and in the living room hanging out and watching TV and making crafts together. In the end, I think I did this off camera, but I end up putting a little infant playmat and a debug like boppy pillow in the corner with some toys, so that everybody can hang out in the living room and be comfortable. And I assume that the dining room is mostly for like formal eating, but mostly they just eat in the living room because that makes the most sense. That's how my childhood was, and I loved it. So out here, these planter boxes are from Cottage Living Debug, and they're super cute. And yes, they have dirt and leaves in them, but I took some debug shrubs also from that same pack, debug, the Cottage Living Debug, and I just sized them down and kind of raised them up a little bit and made them look like they were growing in the planter box themselves. And I think it came out really nice. Added some little mushrooms and minimized them just slightly to fit in that little tiny space. I do use some clumps of grass later on, but not here. So there's like a little lavender plant, and then I use like a tall grass right next to it, and some other bushes and shrubs. Debug comes in very handy for stuff like this, because I used a lot of plants, and if I used the ones that came in the game that you actually have to buy, it would have drastically increased the price of this home. Now I did use some that you have to buy, just because the debug ones don't look the same, but I mostly use debug plants, and I think it came out really nice. That iris is from the what's that, the Dream Garden, or one of those, Romantic Garden pack. I actually like that one a lot, and I think it's a little underrated, but if you really enjoy landscaping, that is a good pack to get, especially if it's on sale, which it goes on sale quite often, the stuff packs. Here I'm figuring out the rest of the decorations. Oh, excuse me. There's a little plant right there for the little cut in the steps that I hate so very much. And 2 bicycles, replacing the purchased hydrangea for the debug one because it just looks nicer to me and it's free. And over here is our little garden plot. I did not want to make you sit through me pulling everything out and going through that, so that's our little garden plot in the back, our little dining area, and here's our little lounge area coming together. I think those are from Seasons, I believe. I struggled to pick a nice coffee table because the ones that came with that pack were just too large. I thought they were just too much. See, like, ugh, big old block of wood. Nope, too much. So I used this one from Base Game because it looks like it might be suitable for an outdoor coffee table. And a little plant and my favorite little citronella candle to fight away the mosquitoes. And I think that's about it for this area. Oh, well, I do put a little outdoor rug underneath here, and then I just moved the chairs in a little. Working on more shrubs around this side of the house. The platform was really giving me a hard time, so I had to use tool mod to lower everything down just ever so slightly to line up with the rest of it. And here's me struggling with that because it kept jumping around. All right, I think that's it for that one. And then around the house, I did the same thing. The magic of speeding up our footage. It actually took me a very long time, but like I said, the joy of editing, you know, what are you gonna, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not gonna tell you how much I sped it up. I'm actually a very slow builder. It's very hard to edit this because I'm like, wait a minute, why did I spend so much time on this one area? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Here we are finally getting into the garage. I just used my favorite grungy Starbird siding, and then I moved into the front landscaping right here. And I think what I did was I pulled out this, it's a floor light from Outdoor Retreat to mimic the look of the plant holder that is in the inspiration picture, because we don't have like a standing plant, hanging plant holder, but I wanted to make one, so I minimized this hanging plant from Debug and I just raised it up a little to make it look like it was supposed to be there. And then I threw in a bunch of shrubs in the front here, and arranged them in such a way that it just looked like everything made sense. That was my idea, but it was tough. It was very tough. I think it came out pretty nice though. Here's some more Debug landscaping. I moved that little wagon out back. I actually end up using that back there. Maybe that was like a flower arranging project. Here we are trying to figure out what kind of plants we're using. I did some tall grass pieces and some flowering like perennial shrubs. This fern trio, which I think is it's either from Snowy Escape or Cottage Living, but it was a little too fast for me to tell. So my apologies. And then a little bit more of the flowers, and then I went along with terrain tools or terrain paint, and over here I skipped through everything because I just repeated the same landscaping again and I didn't think you needed to sit through that. And here I am moving the range hood, realizing my large mistake. Okay, now moving to the upstairs. Use this lovely cream colored wallpaper at first. I do change it to a different kind of wallpaper, slightly darker cream tone, and I think without the white paneling. If I remember correctly, nope, it still has white paneling, but it is a darker cream color. Oh man, like I said, it was a couple days ago. You gotta give me a break on that. I've been doing a lot the last couple days. And this little end table situation, I put just a tiny little table light and a tiny little plant, and then a mirror, because as is customary with hallway landing areas, and some plants, because when there is an empty space, we put a plant. Over here, I decided I wanted to pick some wall art. I think I used the Dream Home Decorator ones. Is it Dream Home Decorator? I don't remember. Yes, it is. I used the Dream Home Decorator paintings. I think I sized them down one little click and then just arranged them half off center just so it didn't look so awkward there in the corner. And one big long runner rug, which is also base game, in the middle there. And I thought that worked out really nice. And I did use two of these lights from, not this one, but another one. That double light I always want to use, but it just doesn't give off enough light for me. So I used this other light from Growing Together, and I did use two of them in the end, but I think I might have gotten rid of them and just swapped it out for the one. I'm not 100% how the end product comes out. Now in this bathroom, I just kind of closed off this little triangle right here, and I added the shower, and then I used this itty bitty toilet from Tiny Living, and this base game pedestal sink, not that one, not that one either, just the little one right there. There it is. I knew which one it was, and I even tried sizing it down, but it just looked kind of silly. So I kept it its normal size, and then, yeah, see, it just looked silly. So then I was picking the tile, and I used the growing together herringbone tile because it's just perfect, and the white herringbone tile for the floor. And in here I'm just decorating. There's my playtester sim, making sure everything works, and it did. So woohoo! Adding some towels, and then I think I add some soap and stuff off camera later when I go and do my very last walkthrough of the home to make sure I didn't forget anything. And in the bedroom, I forget which bedroom we moved to. It might be, no, it is the parents' room. So the whole bedroom set is from Snowy Escape. The bed, the end table, and eventually the dresser. It's all from Snowy Escape. That lamp ends up changing later on, and I did have to move the windows around and add another window, and I'm using this leafy and pink wallpaper. And at first I put a plain pink wallpaper on the rest of the room, but then I decided on a gray instead for the rest of the room because it just seemed like it was less in your face. It was more subdued. It kind of made more sense. And then I think I add a big wall mirror. I believe I used the one from Jungle Adventure in this wood tone. Yes, indeed I do. It's very cute. This light, this standing light from Growing Together, I love. I absolutely love it. It fits in a lot of different areas. Here I am trying to use that double light again. I don't think I keep it though. It just doesn't give off enough light. It still made this room feel really dark. Although it was kind of dark this time of day in game when I had my playtesters here, so that could have been why, but I tried it every time of the day and I just didn't like that it wasn't giving off enough brightness for me. I also carried that leafy motif through the other side of that wall there because it needed more oomph, needed more pizzazz, if you will. So I made this rug slightly bigger and I positioned it near the bed so that it would have a nice cozy rug to step out of bed into, and then of course grabbed my favorite little fuzzy rug from Snowy Escape because it fits the bedroom set, a little tiny plant over there on top of the dresser, and I think a little basket of linens and maybe another organizational box that I use from the Dream Home Decorator pack. Oh, and this lovely wall plant. Very, very cute. Now, which light did I use? I think I actually used the short fitness stuff pack light, the really strange shaped one, this one, the pointy one. It actually lets in so much light, and it's so interesting, but it works in a lot of different rooms, I have found. So sometimes I just reach for that and it works. And it's a happy day for me. I thought about adding these light switches, but I changed my mind very quickly. So in here, this is going to be the toddlers / infants room. It comes together pretty quickly. I made sure everything matched, so the toddler bed and the crib match. This changing table. I also get the matching swatch. Oh, excuse me. I'm doing this all in one take, so pardon me. But this, and it also has the trash can. There we go. And this little guy, this little organizer basket system, has diapers and wipes, and it's just super cute. And here's a little end table, and I get to use the new light from Growing Together, this little foxy light, which is super cute. My kids also have a foxy light, so it's near and dear to my heart. I do end up changing that end table later on, but first I picked the wallpaper. This is very neutral, kind of grassy, outdoorsy looking wallpaper that I love very much. And then the curtains. Now I really like these curtains here from Base Game. So because I wanted to use these, I had one open on the other side and it was cutting into this end table just a little too much. So I decided to get rid of that end table, swap it out for the other little end table here. Oh, excuse me, the little poof right here, and it looks like a sitting poof, but it's actually an end table poof, so imagine that. I have the little nightmare and monster under the bed light over in the corner there. I just sized it down, and this light I never use, that little sun and cloud thing. It is enormous. I do use that again, I think 2 more times in this room, but I size it down. And that little night light that projects the stars I think is really cute, and also the owl decal on the wall. That is from werewolves. And here just picking out some more wall decorations, sizing down one more of those lights. I think this room is just so cute. This little mat here, or the rug, is actually the baby mat, and I sized it up, and then I picked a cute swatch from that I think worked with the rest of the room. And that is about it for that room. Very quickly got done that one. Here, the child's room, I had a lot of fun with. So I imagine that this sim child really, really loves dinosaurs and also space. Like maybe he loved dinosaurs when he was younger, but now he's moving into all things science. So dinosaurs, outer space, and biology and chemistry and everything. Maybe he just loves all things science. That was the idea. So I placed that very cute bed with the dinosaur swatch comforter. Super cute. And the end table is from My First Pet Stuff, I believe. And it's really, really adorable. Just the little circular thing. Oh yes, there, I forgot to add that little shelf in the baby's room. This pillow here that I'm placing on the floor currently is from the Little Campers kit. And then I used some base game curtains again in an orange swatch, placing them right there. Now this room eventually becomes covered in posters and dinosaur things and space things. I think I used some dinosaur wall decals. It was just a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this room. I contemplated changing the wallpaper to this one. I think I ended up keeping it. Yes, I did. So that rug is an outer space rug. Now they do have a rug that matches the swatch on the comforter, but I didn't want it to be too matchy-matchy. And I also wanted to reflect that he enjoys all different sciences. I pulled out that little dinosaur toy and also that dinosaur large room decoration. I don't even think that's a doll. I don't think you can talk to it or anything. I think it's just a decoration, but it is so cool. I just love it. So I think I put this pillow in the corner somewhere. I kind of move it around throughout the day. And there is no toy box. There is no dresser. However, there's a closet in the hallway, and you can always just click on the child to change clothes. They don't really need a dresser, and I just kind of went with that. I also added a bookshelf to the baby's room, realizing, oop, forgot that too. And then in here, I'm trying to think about an end table light. I finally picked that lantern, also from Little Campers Kit, and it didn't dawn on me until much later when I came back to this build for the second to last build sesh, that they have a ceiling light that is a solar system light, and it's an unlockable item from one of the careers. I'm not 100% sure. If you saw me just sneak some sneaky little puzzles and board games under that science table. Yes, you did. There's that solar system light that I was talking about. I can't believe I forgot about it, but I was thinking about it later on, and I said, wait a minute, we have a solar system light. How did I not think about that? I have to write that down. Remember to add solar system light. Here's some dinosaur wall decals and another artsy craftsy thing that I thought would be really cool over here atop the science table, and also an astronaut on a rocket, because it just makes sense. And of course this big dinosaur painting that came with base game, I thought that would look really cute over there on that wall. Now outside to the garden area, I put up a little debug fence and threw down some terrain paint and I think a couple little decorations, maybe some grass pieces, and later on I do add lanterns, outdoor lanterns. It might be shortly after I finish this garden spot. Oh, and some vines. I do put some vines on the outside of the garage because I just wanted it to kind of blend in and be like a little bit of a garden oasis spot. There's a bee box, there's also the bug box, which you can feed compost to the bugs and they give you certain ingredients, or they give you biofuel if you want to have the water collector and try to conserve, there's a whole bunch of options for this lot, by the way. And I add some little clumps of grass, and here I am fixing up the siding of the house, taking a little once over to make sure I have everything where I want it to be. I believe out here I decided to add, yes, I use the terrain paint to add a little path from the door to the driveway, and then I think I add a little bit more dirt in that itty bitty spot right there, and maybe 2 more bushes or 2 more little plants. I don't know when I add the big tree over here on the side. if that's now or much later. I feel like it might be now. Is it now? Oh, look at that. I was right. Okay, so it's now. I had a tree, and then I repeat that big bush that's over here in front of the fence next to the walkway. Put that next to the garage door here, or the garage side door, should I say. And there's our trash can and our mailbox, and I think that's just so realistic looking. It's just, I can drive by that house and be like, yep, that makes sense. So here I'm placing a bunch of stuff from the Greenhouse Haven kit, and I believe that after I place down a few things, I just skip to the finished product. There it is. I add half brick, and then I have half concrete flooring for the garage, because I think it just makes a lot of sense for in here. And these 2 stacked chairs, which are also a table, well, they're actually a table, we can't use the chairs stuff, and this little box, they are from the Basement Treasures kit, as well as this dolly and this little table light which goes on top of the chairs, and I think it just fits the overall look of the garage. I think I add like an electrical box to the side of the wall, and also a stack of tires and maybe a traffic cone, if I remember correctly. Oh, this tire planter I put outside, because why not? There's that cone. Also, Peek the Little Flamingo. I found that in debug as well, and I had to add that. There's the electrical box, and here's me just checking out all the lighting, making sure that everything is done and finished up, making sure everything's placed properly. I hate unlit outside exteriors of these homes, so very picky about that. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope that you could stick around for most of this one. I know it was very long, but I appreciate all of the support. Enjoy the rest of the footage of me fiddling around with all the finishing touches, and then enjoy the slideshow. If you have any suggestions for a build that you want to see coming up, feel free to let me know, and be sure to like and subscribe if you have not already, and refer your friends if they also like Sims videos. And I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.